hello. Hi, my name is Susan Kraft, and this is Talk Art, a program supported by Golden Artist Colors and the Silicon Valley Open Studios. Every year, during the first 3 weekends in May, more than 400 Silicon Valley artists open their studios to the public. This is a free event, and it lets you discover some exciting new artistic talent or get up close and personal with some of your favorite artists. You can find out more about Open Studios by going to the website svos.org. Today, we're going to talk to Wendi Spiers. She's a sculptor whose studio is in San Francisco. She's going to tell us how she builds her sculptures and a little bit of magic that gets mixed into her clay. Thank you so much for coming today, Wendi.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Now, before we get into that magic part, I want to talk about the trick that was played on you.
Ah, yes.
The financial green mailing trick. Kind of blackmailing, but they want money.
Right.
Because, now I'm told by my experts that do research for me,
yes,
that your website, wendispiers.net, and that's not S-P-E-A-R. It's not like the singer.
Brittany.
Not like Brittany.
Not like
Brittany.
Brittany.
It's spelled S-P...
S-P-I-E-R-S.
S-P-I-E-R-S .net.
.net.
Not .com anymore.
Yeah, it was for
because,
well, it was for about 3 years that I had the .com.
Yeah.
And then
Yay.
I dorked.
You dorked.
I
What does
dorked.
dorking mean?
Well, I mean, I just
You didn't re-up your website, did you?
Yeah.
How long did you wait?
I think I probably waited a couple months.
Oh, well, okay.
At least. You know, I think they may have given me a warning, and I'm not the most techno-savvy person.
But somebody
and
jumped on your name?
they jumped on my name. I guess there's more than one Wendi Spiers, but I really don't think there is. They just snapped it up, and they said, oh, but you can have it, but it's going to be $100 more. And I was so mad, and I was just like,
So now a Chinese Wendi Spiers is taking it.
Yeah.
Because I went there, I guess
Wendi Spiers is a Chinese name. I don't know. I have no idea.
Anyway, it's wendispiers.net, and I'm sure that it's been up on the TV already, and all of you in the studio audience have seen her card. So anyway, we're here today to talk about your magical sculptures, and we are going to, first set we're going to talk about 3 sets tonight, and the first that we're going to talk about are your Human Nature series and your muses. You're going to tell us about your muses. This is pretty interesting what you use for your muses. Who are they?
What I used to use.
Yes, because now things are different.
Yeah, now things are different. But well, it started out just trying to understand human nature, and people are a little strange sometimes. And
You don't say.
Yeah. And I always kind of identified more with animals, and so there would be some aspect of somebody, just be an aspect of a personality, not their entire personality, but just a little aspect of their personality that would come through. And I said, that's sort of like a
Snake in the grass.
A snake in the grass. or
an eagle.
An eagle, or a rabbit, or a dog.
Or a deer.
Deer.
With a hole in his heart.
With a hole in his heart.
Or his chest. Yeah.
His chest, yes. This is the Deer Man. This is a sculpture that it was inspired by a boyfriend I was dating at the time, and I realized that
wait, you did this while you were still dating him?
Yes, I did.
Did he know this?
No.
Okay.
No, he didn't.
Okay.
No names are going to be involved in this.
So did you break up with him by the time it was over?
Yes, I did, actually.
By the time you finished, I mean.
When I finished the sculpture, yeah. It almost, well, I realized that he had been protecting himself so much that there was nothing there to protect, at least for me anyway. I'm not saying that as an entirely, I don't know what happened after that. But he had there was a hole in his heart because he had just been holding himself back so much. And there's actually an arrowhead in the back, and my dad had used the arrowhead to kill a deer with, because my dad is from Mississippi, and that's what they do there.
He's a naturalist.
He's a naturalist, yeah. And anyway, so it just seemed like he was empty, and he was already mortally kind of wounded in a way.
Okay, I see.
And I was just like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
And so we broke up.
Okay.
But the funny thing is I was trying to get into some galleries. I always am. and I decided to do a bronze because I got turned down by some galleries that said, oh, we don't like clay. Clay, it's mud, whatever it is.
Well, it's also very worrisome because it could break.
Yes. But glass breaks too, and they have a lot of glass in those galleries.
Yeah, well,
but clay is mud. I know it's mud. It's okay. And I said, well, I should make a bronze. And so this is one of my favorite pieces.
It's beautiful.
I made a bronze of this sculpture. And I realized that in order for me to do bronze again, I'm going to have to make enough money to pay somebody to do it because it is a lot of work. So
yeah, well, okay.
But the funny thing is as I was working on this bronze, and this was many, many years later, I had not heard from this person, that he starts calling me and emailing me, and I say, whoa, that's really strange. Why is that happening? So
your energy being put into this magical clay.
I felt like, maybe I'm calling this person or something, and I'm like, well, gosh, if I can call somebody I don't really want to talk to, maybe I should make the person that I want to meet. And so I made the Crane Man.
The Crane Man, because they have cranes and they mate for life.
Cranes mate for life, and I wanted somebody that was strong and vulnerable, but had wings and was just really open.
Fly with you.
Fly. There's no hole in his heart.
Yeah.
And the strange thing is the first time I showed this piece, my husband,
the man who became
my husband, asked me out for our first date.
Showed up. Wow. Well, see, there you go. Okay.
So it worked.
Now, do you give this mojo to other women? Have you offered?
I have told other women, that there's other ways. You don't have to be a sculptor, but you just put your, you put your mindset on what you really want. I'm not saying like brown hair, blue eyes. I'm just saying that you put out what you really want, and things will happen.
Well, we have other pieces that you have put your mind and heart and soul into, and we'd like to show them to you. Marty, could you show us the first few slides? Here we go. Now you have this picture here of the Phoenix. The Phoenix is showing. Can you tell us a little bit about the Phoenix? You've got two other pieces behind it.
Yeah, this was just at a little gallery show, and the Phoenix was about, part of it was about breast cancer because I'd had some friends that had closed calls, and then but then it also is about just rebirthing and regenerating.
Oh, the Phoenix,
yourself.
right? Of course,
coming out from the ashes.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Yeah.
The next one is Dog Woman. I think it's up already. Dog Woman.
That's kind of what happens to you.
Oh wait, we got the bear up already.
Oh,
so let's just move on. Can we go back to the Dog Woman, please?
It's okay.
All right, there we go. It's up now.
Oh, the Dog Woman's what happened to you. That's how you feel when you're dating a deer man.
Yeah, okay. All right. So let's go into Mama Bear. There we go. Mama Bear.
Mama Bear, she's just more of a protective kind of symbol because Mama Bears are the most protective of all.
Oh, yes.
So,
Yeah, so you wanted some protection.
Yes.
Okay. Well, she's beautiful. And it belongs to somebody now? You don't have her anymore?
No, I had to take that one home with me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
how large is she?
She's only about,
She's about a foot tall?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the next one is we've got Elephant Woman. Now, this one's pretty big.
She is very big. And
tell us the story about
the Elephant Woman.
Marty, we're going to leave this up for a little while, please. Or at least you switch over to show our artist talking about Elephant Woman, but we do want to hear this story.
This is a strange story. This is something that happened. I was loading Elephant Woman into the kiln, which is how you bake them, basically, and her finger broke. And I said out loud, "Oh, that's okay. That's not that great of a sculpture anyway." And I turned on the kiln, and all of a sudden, pop! All the power goes out in the whole building.
Wow!
And I was like, and of course I had a deadline because I'm always loading a kiln like right before the deadline, and I'm like, oh man, what do I do? So I called an electrician. He comes over and he's like, how did this happen? It didn't just blow a fuse. It jumped the fuse box, and it was like whole nother fuse out on the street. So
wow,
it just.
So what do you think it was? When you searched your.
I started looking at it. I looked at the piece, and everybody calls it Ganesh, even though it's a woman. And I thought, well, I better look at Ganesh and figure out what's going on with him. What's his deal? And it turns out Ganesh is he's a very big ego. He doesn't like to be insulted. And
put Ganesh back up.
Yeah,
there.
And I was like, oh man. So I made a little thing for Ganesh and a little mirror and put all the cookies he likes to eat. And I was like, okay, if I can't get the electrician get it working, then I'll get Ganesh working too. And actually, the electrician got the power up, and I don't know if Ganesh did too, but it
all worked
really
together.
made something click. And I said, a lot of times when I make sculptures, I don't realize it, but I'm making a god in some other culture that I didn't even realize. I mean, I just wasn't really thinking about it. I just wanted a powerful woman. So I started really thinking. So now whenever I make a piece, I like to do a little research too to see what else it might be. Because when I first make it, it's the beginning of the story. But the story continues as it goes.
Right. So, well, your piece continues to live on.
Yes.
And we've got a very interesting story coming up with the owl and the pussycat here. So we're going to just jump over to the next. Oh, here we've got the your hippopotamus is up now.
Oh, the hippo. That was when I really started dating Carlos, my husband, and I was just so happy. And the hippo's all about, you know, just that joy. And she's also actually fertility as well. So
that's a beautiful piece. In fact, that's the piece I saw when I first met you. And I said, oh, you've got to come on Talk Art. We're going to move ahead now to your next series, your pottery series. And I would like to ask you about the pottery series. You've got beautiful designs on them, and we've got some slides to show as well. But besides the beautiful designs you have on your pieces, you also, you know, the sculptures you do anyway, do you draw them? Do you have sketchbooks with all sorts of ideas, or do they come out in the clay themselves?
It's kind of a combination of the two. Like sometimes I'll have a general idea of what I'm working on, and then the clay just will change it. Like sometimes it's, oh no, I'm not going to be that. You know, or sometimes it just flows along with it, and I'll do a sketch as I'm going. It's sort of it's really liquid. I'm sure it's like that for a lot of people. But,
sure.
Yeah, it's just really.
You have an idea, but
I have a general idea, and I know the more general the idea is, the better. Because if I get really specific, I'm bound to be disappointed, or we'll fight.
Right.
So
well, I found that the more I force something, the worse it's going to go.
Yeah.
So if it goes easily, then that's what's going to happen. If
Yeah.
I'm fighting against something, it's like, oh, you know what, forget it. Just forget it. You know, I think it takes the wisdom of ages to learn that lesson. Either that or I'm just a slow learner and everyone's figured it out by the time they're 18. I don't know. It's taken me a long time. So I'd like to bring up some slides of the pottery slides. Here we go. We've got, it's yellow with owls on it, looks like, owls and birds.
They're just more, it's just fun. I just started doing pottery I started redoing pottery about a year ago. And we've just been having a really wonderful time just playing with the color and the glazes. So I glaze the pieces. I kind of scratch the glaze off to get the depth, and you know, that's just how it goes.
Okay, we're going to go through these slides pretty quickly,
That's
I think.
okay.
Marty, can we move the slides pretty quickly? We've got a nice blue one with a bird, and these are all related, I think. We'll just let the people look at them.
I just love animals and nature, so I love to just. It's fun to paint. But I like painting on clay.
Oh, okay.
So.
Yeah. Well, they're beautiful. I love the contrast of the colors you use.
Thank you.
So you're welcome. Let me catch my breath. Myths and Fables series. Right. So you have definitely used animals for people to combine together. We have myths and fables like the owl and the pussycat. Now, I think that we're going to show some of your slides, and possibly we could have the reading of your owl and pussycat. But first, let's take a look at your slides. Here we've got a rabbit.
Yeah, this is sort of there's a transition that happened when I got married, so it was much more whimsical and happy. And the rabbit is daddy rabbit, daddy bunny, you know, and it's sort of a love bunny series that I have.
And the next one? And that is, we've got some trolls or elves?
Oh, they're little gnomes.
Gnomes.
Because actually, I started because I really wanted some in my garden, you know. So, and they ended up in my garden. Those particular ones, because I fell in love with them.
They are.
Thank you.
The next, please. And we've got a long, tall woman leaning against something. We've got close-ups of her as well, her face and her chest, holding a bird.
Oh, she's a wall piece, and it's called The Gardener.
Okay.
And it's just about a love of nature. I love putting little secret compartments in people. So it's sort of the part of the things. She's about, I don't know, 18, 20 inches long.
Biddy in the oven, she's called.
That's more like, you know, just, again, it's a little secret, little bitty in the oven, like being, you know, another pregnancy.
And so now we've got chicken licking coming up.
Yeah, chicken licking's just
chicken licking.
Just
Next
fun.
one, Marty. Marty? There, the secret lover.
Oh, yes. It's just, again, I'd like putting little compartments and things and just hiding, you know, his heart is on stage, you know.
Is that one of your ex-boyfriends?
No,
Okay. Were you a secret lover?
No more ex-boyfriends.
Okay, all right. Next one, Margaret. We're moving on. Thank you, Marty. You saved her. This one's called Cat Lover.
That's again, that actually is inspired by my husband.
That's
That's his little kitty.
That's his kitty in his heart. Oh, how
His
sweet.
heart.
Now this is the biddy in the oven. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's just, again, they're just a lot of fun, little secret little compartments. I love putting little, like the things we keep hidden, but I like showing them.
As a correction for the earlier one, that was the gardener, by the way.
Oh,
okay.
the gardener.
Now we're going for, here's Chicken Lickin'. Oh, I love this one. How tall is Chicken Lickin'?
Chicken Lickin' is about 20 inches.
About the same as the owl? Okay.
My kiln is 27, so everything is 20 inches taller.
Okay. Or double.
Yeah.
Okay. Now we've got Daddy Rabbit coming up. Here he is, Daddy Rabbit. He's got things coming out of his chest.
It's sort of about what happens to, I was watching a lot of parents and what happens to the dads. And he's just like, okay, this little baby's just crawling up the ladder to his heart, and he's like, all right, here you go.
And he's in lotus position. He's got a hand in his heart.
Yeah.
And the last one here, we've got Antelope Woman, which is she's here.
She's
Here's a
right
close-up
here.
of her.
In person.
We've got a leaf close-up on her belly. Here is on the screen. Okay. Thank you very much, Marty. Here we go. Thank you very much. That's beautiful, beautiful. I'm so glad you hauled all your pieces in here and then brought these beautiful slides for us to share with us.
Well, thank you, because I love any chance to show my work is always exciting for me. So I love showing it as much as I can. So, but
and you're very prolific.
Thank you.
Yeah. Now, you have a marvelous poem that you heard John Lithgow say on PBS.
Yeah, what happened was
short stories.
It was. I'm actually working on this one sculpture that's about. It's my biggest piece ever. So far, she's almost 6 feet tall.
Wow.
And as I was working on her, I make all my large pieces hollow. So I have to coil them at the bottom and work my way up. And sometimes I don't really know where it's going. And this piece, I was at a loss, and it kept getting bigger and bigger. And I was like, what is it going to be? What is it going to be? I don't know what it's going to be. You know, and then I heard on, it was Selected Shorts on KQED, and love KQED. I am a member. And it was The Owl and the Pussycat, and I remember hearing that little poem when I was a kid, and I thought, that's it. That's what she's going to be. And I have, you know, in the poem, the owl is a male, and I changed it to a female because to me, it just that's what it translated. But so I'm like, oh, she's going to be an owl with the pussycat. So I also made this little sculpture to go to sort of like a mock-up of the large one, which is still in progress. It's going to be a while. And so that's sort of how it started, and it really just was a lot of fun and silly. And
before you go into the poem, which I'm dying to hear, is this also coiled? The small ones also coiled? Or is that
these I don't have to, and it's so much easier
solid?
when you don't. It's fairly solid. Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
Okay, it's all right. So, so we are going to have a rendition of The Owl and the Pussycat.
Yes. The owl and the pussycat went to the sea in a beautiful pea-green boat. They took some honey and plenty of money wrapped in a 5-pound note. The owl looked up to the stars above and sang to a small guitar. Oh, lovely pussy, oh, pussy, my love, what a beautiful pussy you are. You are, you are, what a beautiful pussy you are. Pussy said to the owl, you elegant fowl, how charmingly sweet you sing. Let us be married, too long we have tarried, but what shall we do for a ring? They sailed away for a year and a day to a land where the bong tree grows, and there in a wood a piggy-wig stood with a ring at the end of his nose. His nose? His nose, with a ring at the end of his nose. Dear pig, are you willing to sell for 1 shilling your ring? Said the piggy, I will. So they took it away and were married next day by a turkey who lives on the hill. They dined on mince and slices of quince, which they ate with a I can't say it now, renunciable spoon, and hand in hand on the edge of the sand, they danced by the light of the moon. The moon, the moon. They danced by the light of the moon. It's kind of a racy poem, but...
Oh, now it was written quite a long time ago.
It was written in 1870-something, and yeah, it's just been Edward Lear, I think, was the author, and yeah.
And who came up with, somebody imagined and came up with the word runcible spoon.
Yes, and it's a spork. So and I can't seem to say runcible anymore. It's a sport.
What we did was we changed the spelling from R-U-N-C-I-B-L-E, put the S in there to make
Try
sure
to help me out, but
to make sure she pronounced it correctly.
You know,
And that was
still special.
Yes. She got a special award the last time she was
did.
out on stage. Okay, let's talk about the Owl and the Pussycat a little bit. Now, clearly in the poem that was written over 100 years ago, the owl is a male.
The male.
And he sang to the pussycat, who was a little female. You know, everyone believes cats are female and dogs are male. I have the opposite at home, and I've had these animals for years, and I still have a hard time.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. Where does that come from?
I don't know. I don't know where that comes from,
But here you've got, you changed it, actually. You made the cat a boy.
I did.
And a little boy, evidently.
He's little.
In the pouch.
Yeah.
He's in the pouch
he had
of
to
the
fit
owl
in her
baby.
belly. Again, a lot of times I like to do a lot of with the belly thing, you know, fertility and just, there's more than just fertility, but just sprouting out. But yeah, and I started thinking about it, and the owl woman is also a goddess too. It's Athena, and she's the goddess of wisdom. And then there's other goddesses too in other cultures, and it's wisdom, prosperity, and to me that's also part of love. I mean, it's just being wise and accepting it, and really, really realizing when you have it, you really need to hold on to it, and it's just.
And you're a woman. You can put yourself into anything you want.
Yes.
You're the artist, so why not use yourself to be the leading character?
I didn't want to do another Catwoman. There's so many cat women, Batman things,
old,
you know.
done.
So it had been done quite a few times. So yeah, I just.
And that's a single person. You're not a single person anymore.
No.
So. Yeah. So, thank you for showing that. Now you have a couple other little guys here.
Yes.
We haven't talked about them at all, and they're out of character from the other thing. So, I think I'm going to just
swish by them.
Swish by them.
Okay.
I just wanted to recognize
Little
them because
squirrels.
you do have little magical stuff ground into your clay. But I do want to talk some more about this gigantic piece you have here, which isn't the largest. Obviously,
my new piece, which will be much larger, hopefully, if it survives. That's the problem with clay, is that you never know. It's
then
like
you can just
life.
do it again.
Yeah, you can lose something that you worked on for months and months, and it can just blow up in the kiln and be gone, and you have dust. And you just have to start again.
In defense of gallery directors and owners, to take a fragile clay piece is, and people don't expect it to be clay, first of all, because they're used to having bronzes around, or maybe the resin. So it's just really hard to handle fragile things. That I would, if you can have bronze, please have bronze. So I can see why they're spoiled that way. And glass is shiny, and everyone knows it's fragile. So.
Right. Yeah.
All right. So let's talk about the
This is the Antelope Wife. This was inspired. I listened to a lot of books on tape, and one thing I realized too is that that's part of the new series. Is it's about stories, and I've always loved stories, and this is a wonderful story. I've forgotten the author. I wrote it down, but now it's gone.
Sorry,
but it's called The Antelope Wife. She was a Native American who wrote the story, and it's just really beautiful and magical, and also very twisted and convoluted. It takes place in a bunch of different times, and things change, and it's sort of about keeping the wildness within you. And she's and the main character, he kind of captures the antelope wife, and he wants to keep her for his own, but she still has the wildness in her, and so no matter what happens, she's still wild.
And that's why she's got the fronds
and the
vines,
and the leaves
going,
and nature and swirls.
They're actually embedded in her. They're not sticking out of her. They're not capturing her. They're actually coming in from within.
Yes, and in her back, the leaf is carved out.
And that's what the close-up you had of the slide we had up?
Yeah, because she is hollow. So a lot of times I like to let the hollowness show through, too, because it's kind of little secret spots.
Okay. Oh, interesting. Interesting. So when did you finish this piece?
I finished this one sort of, I guess, in 2009, and and I've shown her just a few times.
Okay, so so I met you last fall, last fall at Open Studios.
Yes.
And I think she was done. I think that's one of the things I saw that, and then the Deer Man.
Yeah, the Deer Man is many years back, so we've got several many years in between the two.
Now, so your future series, not only are they going to be the Owl and the Pussycat, you've got other mythological pieces coming up. Can you talk about those a little bit?
Yeah, I'm thinking of doing, well, one of the pieces that I just made that I lost, but it was
in the kiln?
Yes.
Oh.
It's just another little fable about the fox and the raven, and the fox is trying to get some grapes, and it's about sort of cooperating. And again, to me, that's sort of about being, I'm married. I have to kind of, I always have to have a little bit of me, and of course, in everything I do. So I'm like, oh, this is sort of like marriage in a lot of ways, just cooperating. I'm up here, I can fly, and I'm, one person's down below, and just trust and cooperation is what that one's about.
Oh, very good. Yeah.
So
very
hopefully
nice.
it will come back again.
I'm sure it will, just like marriage.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about Open Studios. So you're getting some pieces ready for Open Studios, I would guess.
Yes, I'm getting, I'll be working to getting ready for Open Studios. We're having it coming up in April.
So it's every April.
Every April.
And then there's also a fall Open Studios.
Yeah, it's in October. We're usually the second weekend in October.
Can you tell us where your studio is?
It's at 17th Street in Potrero in San Francisco, and
it's a big art. It's a big art studio.
It's a wonderful space. There's a
What's the
lot
name
of
of it?
artisan. Art Explosion Gallery.
Art Explosion Gallery. Okay, and it's
Yeah.
kind of an old. Not
It's
kind of. It is an old building.
It's an old building.
It's an old funky building.
It's funky, but it's just a really great space. There's a lot of really talented artists there, and I've been there for 11 years, and
you live in the East Bay.
And I live in Oakland.
How far away do you have to drive to get there?
It's not too far because it's usually
About
reversing.
15, 20 minutes?
Yeah, not even.
See that, folks? It's not hard.
It's not hard.
Just
There's
get
a
up there.
bridge there. I
Yeah.
heard there's a
Yeah,
bridge, so
there's a
you
lot of
can
parking,
go to
actually.
San
It's pretty open.
Francisco and
It's pretty open.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm glad we're able to talk about that. Now, once again, can you tell us your website name again is?
It's Wendi Spiers.
But Wendi is spelled different.
WENDI
I.
and SPIERS .net. Net.
Okay. All right, thank you so much, and thank you all for joining here with us tonight. It's during the. You don't know when you're going to be watching this. It happens to happen to be taping this at night. Thank you for coming tonight to Open Studios. My goodness, to Talk Art. I'm Susan Kraft. Thank you very much for coming tonight, and thank you very much for coming to here and speak with me about this.
Thank you very much.
Wonderful.